or is every game a game?
I guess it depends on who's talking about it and how you see it. I mean, for me, or can't speak for everybody, but I think they're just there's 6 more games on the schedule. I mean, you have 82 games, you got to play all 82 of them, and I think there's a lot of times too much goes into who you played and what the combined win-loss record was of this team and that team, and you got to play all the games. And the reality of it is that we've won almost 3 times as many games as we've lost, and we like to keep that pace up or even better it.
Some of the recent criticism of the defense, specifically what Jerry West had to say, you think that's warranted considering the way you guys have played much better defense, especially here down the stretch?
Well, you probably won't get me to respond in any way negatively towards Jerry West. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So, I won't respond specifically to him. But anybody else that has anything to say about the way we've been playing defensively is just, unfounded and not true. Statistically, the numbers are there. In the last, 10 or 11 games, we've seen the difference. Teams are not shooting the ball as well. Opponents' points per game are down. And we've obviously had some slip-ups. The Clippers game, and not even the game. There were 2 or 3 minute or 4 minute stretches where we didn't play good defense. So, we're working hard at finding a way to play 48 perfect minutes. I don't know if we'll get there, but we're working at it.
Lamar said you guys have played Utah so many times. They know what you're going to run. You know what they're going to run. You just come out and play your game against these guys.
Yeah,
so well.
Yeah. There's no question about it. Most of the time, it's just a game of will. Their coach Jerry Sloan is he's that type of coach, and they're that type of team. And for us, battling against them over the last 4 years or so, it's most games have really come down to just wanting it more. We've gotten out to big leads, they've come back. We've been behind, we've had to come back, and you just figure out a way to win. They're never going to quit regardless of what the score is, and so it really puts the onus on us to make sure that we play a full game.
Fish, how aware are you that you've had a team number in your own arena? Like, is that something that you have any degree of focus on continuing? I don't think they've won since 2007 or something like that.
No, I mean, those things start to come up, and you guys mention it, or if you happen to hear a news clip or something, you'll hear about that. But by and large, you're not really aware of it for the most part. So that doesn't mean that the other team isn't, though. The team that has that streak going is very aware of it, and so it's something that depending on the matchup and when it is in the season, you have to realize the team's going to maybe come into a game with more to prove. If they've lost several in a row, either just against us or in general. And we found out against the Mavericks, who had lost 6 games in a row. They came out with something they wanted to prove that night last week. And Utah, who's been struggling a little bit as of late, they're going to want to prove that they still belong as one of the top teams in the West. And we expect it to be a tough game.
Being on both ends of it, do you think that there's been like a common thread in that streak, dating back to those 6, as far as Lakers beating them at Staples 16 times in a row?
I don't know. I mean, the year I was in Utah, the only common thread was Kobe Bryant was really good. I think he scored 50 or something one of those games, and so those times, Kobe was just really good, and that was the pre-Pau Gasol days, and before Andrew was the dominant center in the middle and that type of thing. The last few years, I think it's just been our size in the middle that's really made it tough for their big guys, like a Boozer in the past, and their other forwards, to have the type of success that they normally have against maybe other big front lines.
I imagine maybe the fans might be a factor, but as far as their execution against you guys on their home floors, do you notice there being any difference as far as what they've been able to execute better as opposed to facing guys here?
No, not really, because there have been some really tightly contested games here. Even in the playoffs, there have been games where even if we got out to a big lead, they were able to battle back and pull within 2 or 4, and then we had to close the game out at the end. So, it hasn't just been that we've beaten them by 20 or 30 points, every time they've come here. So, you know, some differences could be just that it's home and road. You know, Utah, over the last few years, they've had young guys, you know, playing key minutes. So, you know, on the road, you know, at times guys are going to struggle. But, you know, we expect it to be a tough game tomorrow regardless of, you know, what's happened in the past.
Derek,
Last question, guys.
Playing point guard, it seems like it may be the most deep position in the league. A lot of young talent coming up. Do you have an opinion on maybe who's the best guy? I was talking to Lamar about it. The conversation kind of sways. Darren Williams seemed to take that crown the last couple of seasons, but you know now guys like Rondo or Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose are kind of be considered in the conversation of being one of the 30 starting point guards in the league. Do you have an opinion on who's the best guy out there?
No. I mean, it's random. You know what I mean? You can't really say, you know, who's the best because everybody's asked to do different things for their team. You know, so, you know, Rondo, who scores 4 points but gets 16 assists,
Right.
you know, that's maybe perfectly what fits for the Celtics, you know, whereas Derrick Rose or Darren Williams may need to score 26 or 28 points, you know, for his team to have a chance to win. So, you know, I just think it's really tough to single out one guy and say he's clear-cut better than the rest of the guys. But, you know, the one thing that's very clear is the position has, you know, really strengthened in the last few years. And, you know, the younger guys that were, quote-unquote, potential all-stars have really become all-stars. So, you know, it's a tough spot, but, you know, you got to be willing to go out there and compete and lay everything out there no matter what.